The 2005 Doom movie was met with huge excitement. Given the enduring popularity of the video game franchise, fans eagerly awaited a cinematic experience that would capture the essence of the games: unrelenting horror, visceral gore, and a primal battle against demonic forces. While the film certainly delivered on some of the action, and even a notable first-person sequence that paid homage to the game's roots, it ultimately fell short of fully encapsulating the game's unique blend of sci-fi horror. One of the most disappointing departures for many longtime fans was the film's decision to remove the supernatural element of hell. Instead of a demonic invasion, the movie opted for a more grounded scientific explanation, attributing the monstrous outbreak to genetic research gone wrong and a mutated 24th chromosome. This creative choice, reportedly driven by producers aiming for a more realistic narrative, stripped away the core mythological foundation that made Doom so distinct and terrifying, leaving many feeling that it was merely another generic sci-fi monster flick rather than a true Doom adaptation, with some even calling it Resident Evil in space. In this video, we're going full breach and clear on the 2005 Doom movie, diving into the production hell, pun intended, and the choices that defined its critical reception, and perhaps even find a new appreciation for what it did get right. And without further ado, let's dig into it.
Look alive, man. Game time.
While the film ultimately starred Karl Urban as John Reaper Grimm, the lead role was initially offered to action star Vin Diesel. It's not entirely clear why Diesel turned down the part, but it's possible he had scheduling conflicts with other projects, or perhaps wasn't drawn to the specific direction or script of the movie. Dwayne Johnson was also originally offered the lead role of Reaper, but he found the character of Sarge more intriguing and chose to play him instead. Sarge's character is actually a nod to Master Sergeant Thomas Kelly, a key figure from the Doom 3 video game. Also, despite his tough guy persona, Johnson admitted that playing the original Doom games made him feel nauseous, likely due to their fast-paced, intense action. The film also featured 2 working, vibrating BFGs, which were specially created for the production. Johnson kept both of them as souvenirs, making them a part of his movie memorabilia collection.
Oh, shit.
The first-person shooter sequence was an exciting moment in the film, designed to immerse viewers in the action just like the video game. But it wasn't a simple shoot. Filming this sequence took around 14 days because every movement had to feel fluid and natural, as if the audience themselves were battling the monsters on Mars. Rosamund Pike, who was a rising actress in 2005, faced a choice between a quirky role as journalist Rita Skeeter in the popular Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and leading roles in 2 other films. She instead opted to star as the intelligent Dr. Samantha Grimm in Doom, and also as Jane Bennett, the sweet and sensible elder sister in the period drama Pride and Prejudice. This decision allowed her to showcase her versatility across different genres in the same year, gaining experience in both a large-scale action production and a more character-driven period piece. Director Andrzej Bartkowiak's vision for the Doom film prioritized practical effects over CGI, aiming for a more tangible and old-fashioned monster movie feel. He achieved this with the help of Stan Winston's studio, under the guidance of supervisor John Rosengrant, by designing and creating the film's monstrous creatures primarily through makeup effects and elaborate creature suits worn by performers. This hands-on approach meant that many of the demons seen on screen were physical creations, with CGI being used selectively to enhance certain shots, or for characters that couldn't be achieved practically, such as the entirely CGI Pinky Demon, or for augmenting specific details like bullet hits and muzzle flashes. Veteran creature performer Doug Jones played 4 distinct demonic imps in the film, including the Carmack Imp and the Sewer Imp. The heads for all these imp characters were meticulously crafted as suits by Robert Ramsdell, using foam latex, silicone rubber, and acrylic over a sturdy fiberglass base. Ramsdell described these creatures as, quote, very weird and contorted, almost as if their insides had been turned out. To overcome sculpting difficulties, he consulted with Stan Winston, who provided invaluable suggestions that Ramsdell immediately incorporated using hot clay to ensure he fully grasped Winston's vision. Each imp featured a unique head with a custom paint job, resulting in various appearances. Some imps lacked eyes, while others, like the particularly repulsive sewer imp, had an unsettling 11 eyes, contributing to their truly loathsome visage. The movie was known for its intense and gory action, staying true to the violent nature of the source material. However, even with the filmmaker's intent to deliver a visceral experience, some scenes were deemed too extreme for the theatrical release and were ultimately cut. These excised moments featured even more graphic depictions of violence and gore, as well as bloody aftermaths than what made it into the final version shown in cinemas. For viewers wanting to see this uncompromised vision, an unrated extended edition was later released on home media, containing these more brutal and explicit scenes. Before this movie finally made it to the big screen, many other versions of the script were written between the mid-90s and 2000s, most of which were much more faithful to the original video games. For instance, in 1997, Alan B. McElroy, known for writing Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers and Wrong Turn, penned a Doom script around the same time he was working on an early draft for the Resident Evil movie. However, both of his video game adaptations were ultimately rejected. Another horror writer, Dean Lorey, who wrote Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, also wrote a version of Doom at a point when action star Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered for the lead role of the iconic Doom guy, which made the idea of that movie even more anticipated. But his script was also not chosen for the production, and a very tragic event had happened at the time where two teenagers who played the game were messing around with a chainsaw, leading to a terrible accident. Because the chainsaw is one of the iconic weapons Doom Guy uses in the game, the filmmakers felt it was too sensitive and inappropriate to release a movie featuring it so soon after such a tragedy, especially with Schwarzenegger, who's known for his action roles involving weapons. This unfortunate event caused the original movie plans to be shelved, and it wasn't until 2005 that a different version of the movie finally made it to the screen with a new cast and approach. This film adaptation was not a positive experience for its leading actors. Karl Urban seemingly holds a low opinion of his time on the movie, though specific details about his feelings are not widely publicized. Similarly, Dwayne Johnson has publicly expressed his disappointment with the film. Years after its release, Johnson reflected on Doom as a failed attempt at a video game adaptation, something to learn from rather than celebrate. He even went as far as to label the movie a stinker on social media, while promoting his later video game adaptation, Rampage, much to the surprise and perhaps dismay of the official Doom account on X. Rosamund Pike also openly admitted that she feels embarrassed and regretful about her role in the movie, mainly because she didn't fully grasp the significance of the game and its fan base at the time. She acknowledged that her lack of research and understanding of the Doom universe led to a performance that didn't resonate with dedicated fans. However, she took this experience as a valuable lesson and made sure to deeply immerse herself in the fan culture when preparing for her lead role as Moiraine Damodred in The Wheel of Time. Pike actively engaged with the book series fandom, studied its lore, and even narrated an audiobook version of The Eye of the World, ensuring she respected and honored the source material. During the production, a nuclear explosion sequence was filmed for the Mars facility, but it was ultimately left out of the final cut. While the movie already had plenty of destruction and action, this scene might have been removed due to budget constraints, pacing concerns, or the filmmakers deciding it wasn't necessary for the story. Some fans expressed that including the explosion could have made the film's climax even more intense, adding a dramatic final moment to the chaos on Mars. Legendary film critic Roger Ebert was quite unimpressed by the 2005 film, awarding it a scathing one-star review. He concluded his harsh critique by humorously suggesting how the end credits should be handled. After noting how the actors' names were blasted into pieces on screen, he said, "I forget whether the director, Andrei Bartkowiak, had his name shot to smithereens, but for the DVD, I recommend that a monster grab it and eat it." And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into 2005's Doom. It's a film that definitely has its quirks, its thrills, and a whole lot of discussion points, and hopefully you've gained a new perspective into it. So, if you enjoyed this journey and learned some behind-the-scenes tidbits and what made this adaptation tick, or misfire, then consider smashing that like button. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more fantastic fun facts about your favorite movies, games, and series. Until next time, thanks for watching, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next video.